I think the trend has been clearly in the wrong direction on both sides. The Congress has not been assuming its responsibilities, which has forced at least this president to do more things by executive order. There's no question that they should have come together and passed immigration reform legislation. And they weren't that far apart. And yet, this president and the Congress would not sit down and talk it through. So in the book, I emphasize there that, it doesn't take to change this, it doesn't take but one thing. One person that is willing to be a leader and step up, whether it's a congressman or a senator. Paul Ryan has the potential to do that kind of thing as a speaker. I have a lot of faith in him. Or a president would say, I worked all the time with Bill Clinton. We didn't agree philosophically. He was a character, but we talked. And a lot of times when I didn't want to talk, he called one night at 2 o'clock in the morning. Phone's on Trisha's side of the bed. She picks up the phone, says it's the president, hands it over to me. And I start saying, yes, sir, Mr. President. We'll look into that. Yes, sir. All right, sir. Yes, sir. And I hung up. Goodbye. I handed the phone back. She said, what do you want? I said, I don't know. Something about Central America. But here's the point. We talked all the time. We worked through all kinds of things. Budget issues, tax issues, defense issues, safe drinking water, portability of insurance, you name it. Did we agree? No. And a lot of times we pressed each other to the point we'd get mad, but we communicated. That was true with Reagan. When I was whipping the House for 8 years, we met with President Reagan just about every Tuesday morning that Congress was in session. At 9 o'clock. Sometime it was bipartisan, sometimes it was just Republicans. So this trend of not communicating is a recent phenomenon. It started developing with George W., even though he tried very hard to get immigration reform. And by the way, I say to Mississippians look, immigration is one of the big issues in this campaign. Let's admit it. If we'd have done what we should have done in 2007, we wouldn't be here now. And immigration reform is not just about illegal immigrants, it's about legal immigrants. We got people that want to come into America that have something to offer, can't get here. One time I had 2 doctors from Canada that wanted to come to Picayune, Mississippi. You know where that is? Underserved medical area, 2 doctors, highly qualified. You would have thought I was trying to sneak in Saddam Hussein. It was hard. So it started with Bush. I saw it coming in 2006, and now this president and this Congress, they just don't talk. And that's why they haven't, the deficit worries me more than ever. Because now I worry about my grandchildren. It's not about me anymore, or us. It's about the next generation. This is a booger here, and Congress and the president are not dealing with it. So the next president, all Hillary would have to do if she's president, it would be to follow the role to a degree of President Bill Clinton, because he did meet with us and he did talk with us. Or if it's Trump, some of us, have got to reach out and say, Mr. President, you say you're going to change Washington. The first thing you need to do to change it is to begin to communicate. There are 4 things you need to make Washington work. Number 1 is communication. If you don't talk, you ain't going to get nothing done. Real simple. Number 2, you have to develop a chemistry. Clinton made me nervous, but we had a relationship. It was a chemistry that made it possible for us to turn that into action. The other thing we've lost is a vision. What in the hell are we really for anymore? Republicans or Democrats? Do we really know? Do we really know what either side would actually do if they're in the majority in the Congress and have the White House? And last but not least, I've seen it. Leadership. One man or one woman that will face the slings and arrows and the vicissitudes of the media and say, we're going to develop an energy policy in America. We're going to have all of the above. We're going to do it. So it could change, Stuart, on a dime. But it's going to take a person of strength, because I've seen it. Washington is a tough place, I rode the high road, and I got knocked down into the valley. But the best thing about being in the valley is you learn when you get back up to how you can do things better. So it can change. I don't see it right now. I don't see it with Mitch McConnell. I don't see it with Nancy Pelosi. I do see hope in Paul Ryan. I don't know what to expect from Chuck Schumer, who will probably be the Senate Democratic leader. He's smarter than Reid. He's every bit as partisan as Harry Reid, but there's one difference. He's transactional. You can do business. They don't say it that way in New York City, but they understand it. So there is some hope out there, but it all begins in the White House. Leadership begins in the White House. So we've got to get a different, tempo coming out of that place.